Welcome back. I'm glad to see you. We're going to be doing a pattern type lesson today. It's called Zentangles. It's been around for a long time. Miss Linda was not familiar with it until recently because I was so curious. It's popular and I know why. It's also related to adult coloring books. But we're going to do something that's going to be ours and not a coloring book. It's a great way to relax, quiet your mind, get your thoughts together. Even though it's a structured way of doing art, you're going to be incorporating different details. You're going to start with strings, which are lines, are not really strings, and then you're going to be putting these patterns, these beautiful designs in between them. And with this element of design and structure, the patterns that you create are going to be sequential, which means one's going to be coordinated with the one next to it. Even if they have nothing in common, once it's finished, you're going to see that rhythm and that beautiful design. I'm ready to show you how to begin this. We're going to have to make our grid first so we have an idea of where we're going. So let's go. I told you I was not real familiar with the Zentangles, and I know they're really popular. I was given this book a while ago from a friend, and it's called an adult coloring book. But it is actually a series of Zentangles. Look, different ones, fancy, some simple geometric shapes, flowers, just to show you what you can do once you've mastered the Zentangles. But you do need to begin somewhere, and that is to make a grid of possible Zentangle designs that you can use. And this is a real big important thing since you're using marker and I was using permanent marker. It goes through the paper. So keep something underneath you. Even if you have newspaper, you want to have something that will absorb whatever penetrates. Looks kind of cool though. It's a nice design on its own. This is what I started with. I started with a thin marker and it wasn't bold enough for me. I had to move slower with a big marker when I was doing it. So I did 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, I believe they were 2 inches apart. Yes, 2 inches apart and 2 inches apart. Just to get an idea so that when you are actually doing your final design, you have all of this to reference to look at and go, oh, I think I'll use that in that spot, or that'll look great next to that. And I actually was trying to make things different, keep the straight lines by the curly lines and keep the, the angles by the little loopies. It's a great place to start. This did not start out. This I will not do again. And that's another thing. It's almost like that sloppy copy. Try it once, see what happens, and I won't use that unless I draw it with pencil first. When you actually are beginning your design, what I'd like you to do is to get a piece of paper that's only like 5 by 5, something small. It's easier to start with in the beginning. I did pencil marks. I measured with this. You don't have to measure because anything works. Oh, backwards, Miss Linda. So I did 2 in and 2 in, and then I went, whoops, dead center, very much in the center right here, 4. Now I'm going to take and start my Zentangle structured strokes. These are my strings. This is the beginning of my strings. You can use pencil, but then you're going to have to go over it with a marker. I say go bold and try your marker. This was my beginning, and then this was my second one. See this? I started out with that. So I'm going to turn it the way I actually originally looked at it. Once I got my triangle in there, I actually measured down. You don't have to measure, but I was trying to do 4 inches down there and 4 inches down there. Let me show you how I did that, just to make sure that you know what I'm talking about. I put the 4 inches on the line so I knew where to connect it. And then 4 inches right there. So now I know that I'm going to, once I get my marker, we're going to start going out. So I took my marker and I did my triangle, and then I did another triangle and another triangle, and that did not look enough Zentangle to me. So I did another one. And then I thought, oh, double lines, they create such an interest to the whole design. So I thought, let's do this. Let me take a peek. Then we do double lines. You move it there. You move it there. They do not have to match. You can unmatch your double Zentangle lines if you'd like. And then this is too much of an open space. So I decided to do this. And I went further than that. That's actually a really nice design, except for this is huge to do those designs in. If you do that, it will take you forever. So let's just go across here. And then I'm going to do a double line in this way on the bottom, on the top, on the bottom. One of those, and then I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do it above it so that it's opposite. See, it gives a little interest. It gives it a little movement. That is your beginning, and then you get to Zentangle. This is my beginning. Again, it goes right through the paper. If you're not using a permanent marker, or if you're just using a pencil, I'm going to look at this. I've done this one. Should we finish it? I think I should finish it. This one is simply, let Miss Linda get her pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that this one's going to come over here. And then I'm going to do my double one. And then we have to have 1, 2. This has to be filled in. This is very, very therapeutic, but it also makes you think really, really, really hard. Let's do another one here. And then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and fill it in. The reason that these markers work really well is because, and then this, I need to have a little bit of a triangle there. So I'm going to do my circle, and this, and this, and then my triangle will go there. See how it builds? The bigger the space, the more work you have to do, or the bigger the design. I'm going to go with something simple in this giant one. Let's see if I can do curls all about the same size. Take your time. I found that the faster I went, the harder I made it for myself, because then I wasn't really satisfied with my designs. Some of them actually seem to go off the paper. Let's see. Markers have a funny smell. If it gets to you, take a break. I've had students that just couldn't handle it. I'm not fond of it. This looks a little boring to me, so guess what? I'm going to go in there. There's nothing like putting a few dots here and there to really make your design interesting. It'll actually guide me as well. Not perfect, but are we machines? No, we are not. That's what I meant about the bigger the design. This actually looks like it could be a cone filled with candy. Again, Miss Linda will see something in everything. And I'm hoping that you will too. Now, because there's such a large amount of negative space in there, I'm going to double my dots to make it cohesive, or to make it look like it's balanced. So could you imagine sitting in a room, quiet, or with some really good music, and just doing your designs over and over again? I love this. So let's show you how to do, oh, again, have that paper underneath, because you're going to be going off the edges. Let's do 1. These remind me of tubes or pipes. Trying to keep them balanced. I'm doing it faster than I would suggest you do it. Only because I know when I'm showing you these things, you're like, okay, Miss Linda, get done so I can go in there. We're just going to do curved lines this way as well. I don't want them matching up. I want them to be kind of different, not straight, not a perfect pattern. So if you go in between, it actually, again, will guide you to the next line. And I understand why Zentangles are very popular, because it is an incredibly interesting art form. I'm hoping that you spend some time doing this. Remember, do not go big. When you're doing the Zentangles, don't start with anything bigger than this. I read some directions on the internet, and a lot of them say to start out with 4 dots in the corner. So, of course, Miss Linda has to go with triangles because I'm not doing it that way. I have to figure out my own way. It's the best way to enjoy your artistic journey is to look at something, learn from it, just like me, and then take it into your own place because it belongs to you. And another one I really like is this one. So I'm going to turn it so I can see it. Since I like it so much, and since it's getting bigger, I'm going to do it here. So it's basically just doing, I'm going to make these thick because I didn't do that straight. Not a mistake, just a suggestion from my brain from doing it one way that you can do it another way. So take your time. I hate, not fond of doing things super fast for you because it looks like it's just super simple and you don't have to concentrate. You do. So these are just teardrop shapes. I think this pen is louder than Miss Linda today. These can match up. You can make these into a perfect pattern. And the thing is it doesn't look like much now, but when it's all done, it's so cool. You could make wall hangings. You could make cards. You could do anything with these. All right, so what I did then, I'm glad actually I did that. I looped inside them because that was too empty. Does this remind you of peacock feathers or cartoon eyes? Remember, look at your stuff. Find the unusual similarity to something else. Now, I did small dots on this. Because I have so much space in between, I'm going to make them bigger. A little simple dot, which is the absolute beginning of any drawing or shape that you do. I think we need some up here too. You want to fill in that negative space. Let's just do dots. Fill it in with dots. There we go. Check that out. Only a few panels done. These are panels. These are strings. You fill in the strings with something that you've already designed. This is really quite nice too. I could sit here and do this. In fact, I will probably be doing this evening when my day is done. I will finish my Zentangle because it makes you feel really calm and quiet. And do it by yourself at first and then share it with someone else. I think this is something that you may want to just learn on your own first before you share it so that you know exactly how it's going to turn out. And, you know, I learned from things I didn't like and I'm teaching you to do it. Share it. Once you've done it, enjoy it. Well, now we all know what Zentangles are, and we all will enjoy doing them with ourselves, with other people. Make your grid, make sure that you have something to reference to. This is a pattern. This is fun. This is whimsical and rhythm of art everywhere. And it also coordinates perfectly with my pattern and symmetry lessons that we're doing at my website, artwithmisslinda.com. So check it out and you'll see I'm right.